Welcome to another episode of
Business
Bros. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Menancius here, host of the Business Bros podcast, where we're helping you take control of your branding and your marketing using the power of podcasting so that you can create wealth today and generational wealth for tomorrow. I'm here with my co-host,
the insurance bro, James C.S. with Pipeline Insurance. And as always, we have another ready to go rock and roll awesome show for you. This one's going to be especially spectacular because our guest today is a celebrity cosmetic dentist who has been practicing for over 30 years in the Beverly Hills area and has a career unparalleled to any other dentist in history. Guarantee this. Check this out. As the founder of Discus Dental, one of the world's leading dental companies, he helped lead the company from its inception to more than 1.3 billion, that's billion with a B, ladies and gentlemen, in sales, primarily with an award-winning tooth whitening products such as Zoom and BriteSmile. Through his company, this phenom has transformed some ridiculously famous smiles, including such celebrities as Katy Perry, Usher, Anthony Hopkins, Fergi, Hugh Jackman, Michael Strahan, Jessica Simpson, Mark Wahlberg, Eva Longoria, and so many more. If that's not impressive enough, today's guest has received 20 Lifetime Achievement Awards, 2 Guinness Books of World Record, is a New York Times Bestselling Author, and most recently was the first dentist ever knighted by the Royal Order of Constantine. Referred to as the Michael Jordan of dentistry, he has appeared on numerous TV shows including Larry King Live, Oprah, Access Hollywood, E! Extra, Entertainment Tonight, was the only dentist featured on ABC's hit show Extreme Makeover, and is a recurring guest co-host on the CBS Emmy Award daytime talk show, The Doctors. Oh my goodness, wowzers. All right. Of course, all this success has offered an opportunity for our guest to give back. As a passionate philanthropist, together with country singer Garth Brooks, one of my favorites, by the way, and the Crown Council of Dentists, this incredible smile enhancer has helped raise more than $44 million for children's charities. We are so incredibly stoked and excited today to welcome the founder of the nonprofit LEAP Foundation, a week-long motivational leadership program taught at UCLA every summer to more than 400 students. Please give a warm Business Bros pod welcome to a man who is more than just a dentist, but also an author, entrepreneur, philanthropist, TV personality, health and fitness enthusiast, proud father of 3 daughters, and so much more, Dr. Bill Dorfman. Welcome to the show.
The whole show.
I know that was a little bit longer than I expected. Actually, I was trying to practice it before you came on the show.
I know you did really well. There's one eensy-beensy correction.
Oh, let's hear it.
Discus Dental, not discuss.
Oh, Discus Dental.
Discus, like a discus. Better than that, A minus.
I'll take it. I'll take it. That's about as good a grade I ever got in school anyway, so I'll take it.
All right.
Welcome to the show, Dr. Dorfman. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Well, just call me Dr. Bill. You don't have to be so casual or formal.
So Dr. Bill, tell me a little bit about your past. I read in your bio that you had done such tremendous things by age 30. How are you so driven to get to where you're going?
You know, it's funny. People often ask, well, I don't know if you've ever done like the talk show circuit, but I wrote a New York Times bestseller. So I got to do a lot of the daytime talk shows. And when you go in and you do a talk show, they sit you in this room and they've got a producer and they ask you all these questions. And then they pick and choose the things that they think the audience wants to hear. And then you go out on stage and, you know, Ellen will ask you 3 things or whatever, you know, whatever it is. And the only one who doesn't do that is Larry King. Larry King Live is live and you don't know. And Oprah. Oprah wants your raw, unfiltered answer. And Oprah looked at me and said, Dr. Bill, you have had a career unlike any other dentist in the world. What gave you the motivation to think so far outside the box. Now, this was about 8 years ago. I had never even heard the phrase think outside the box. It wasn't really popular then. And my raw, unfiltered, honest answer, I said, Oprah, I never even knew there was a box.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's just how I've always been. I don't like to allow people to limit me or to, prevent me from doing things. Like if I want to do something, I'm going to do it. I run this LEAP program that you guys so graciously included in your introduction. And, I tell kids right off the bat, I never fail, never. And it's not an arrogance, it's a persistence. You see, if I try something and it doesn't come out the way I want it to, I don't look at that as failure. That's practice. And I'll do it again and again and again and again until eventually I succeed. You really only fail when you quit, and I won't quit ever. If I believe in something or someone, I will not quit. I will take it to the end.
But let me dig a little deeper. Is that something inherent that's been in you since you were a kid, or is this something that was taught to you? Maybe you had a mentor or something. Where does that come from?
I was a weird kid. Like I was never normal. Never. I knew it. I knew it from the time I was when I was 5 years old. I went to nursery school, right? And kindergarten, and I remember, and my parents still joke about this. The first day of kindergarten, I come home and we're having dinner. We always had like the family dinner. My mom and dad said, "Okay, sweetie, how was kindergarten?" I'm like, "Mom, the kids in my class are so immature. I can't believe it." Dude, I was 5. Like, what kind of 5-year-old says that? And as I reflect back, I was never a little kid. I wasn't. I spoke to adults like they were my friends. When I was in school and I saw, kids like beating up, like I never got it. I'm like, what's wrong with you? I was like the teacher. It's weird. And I don't know how I came out that way. We're just all wired differently. My goal professionally, when I started to create dental products and things like that, I didn't just make a product. I made a category killer. And there's a difference. There's 1,000 different companies that make toilet paper. My toilet paper would be so good that nobody bought the other toilet papers. That was my goal. And I've always kind of used that mentality in life. When I started practicing in Beverly Hills, the last thing they needed was another cosmetic dentist. I went to dental school. I did a 2-year residency in Switzerland. I came back, I knew nothing. I knew nobody. Why would I be successful? I'll tell you why. Because I researched and I found the 5 most successful cosmetic dentists in LA. And I called them up and I said, "Look, I really admire what you've done with your career. Can I come in and shadow you?" And it wasn't like I just went in and watched them do dentistry. I watched everything from the second the patient came in to how they were greeted, to the forms they filled, to the waiting room. How many dentists walk in their front door instead of the back door and say, "Oh man, this place needs to be like painted."
Mm-hmm.
I looked at everything from the way they did the patient intake, to the way they seated the patient in the room, to the way they presented the treatment, to the way that they did the dentistry. And then afterwards, how they excused the patient and collected money. Like, I watched everything like a sponge. And I took all the best stuff from these 5 guys and put them all into one practice. What happened? Well, within a year or two, I had a busier practice than anybody in Beverly Hills. You
You're
know?
really taking into account the customer experience then in that case is what you were, it sounds like you're taking everything from the moment they walk in the door to when they see you again, all of that, just taking the perks.
Well, I'll put it in a little capsule for you. It's called Copy Genius.
Yeah.
That's what I did. Copy Genius. Why wouldn't you copy Genius instead of creating mediocrity? That's one of the things that LEAP, it's a motivational leadership program for kids 15 to 25, where we bring in successful mentors so kids can copy them. That's the fastest way to success. You don't need to reinvent a wheel. There's already a wheel there. Now think of ways to make it better. It's called building a better mousetrap, and that's the best place. If you want to be successful in business, look around you, see what successful businesses in that space are doing, and do it better.
But Dr. Bill, growing up, copying is a bad thing. If you're in school and you copy off your test or the person sitting next to you, you get that big fat F. It's really frowned upon. Now you're telling me that that's what you should be doing?
No. Cheating is a bad thing. Copying is a good thing.
Very good point. Very good point. I just kind of want to elaborate there because I mean that's you earlier you said
that's called cheating.
Yeah, limiting what people tell you, cutting that part out of your life is something that helped you push forward. And so, when people hear what you're saying, I want to make sure that they're abundantly clear. You're not taking a logo, recreating it, and making your own and trying to run your company off like if it's Pepsi or something, right? You're taking all the quality features of what somebody does really well and re-implementing that in your business. You're modeling your practice off successful people.
Look, there's nothing that is cheating by watching somebody to treat people well and copying that patient experience. That's not cheating. That's smart to copy. Cheating is a whole other thing. That you're talking about apples and oranges.
Well, you've also had the opportunity to meet, work with, and now with the program, develop mentorships with a lot of successful people. What kind of specific things are you looking for to copy from these people? What kinds of things are you looking to implement in your own practice? What qualities should we be looking for in mentors?
Well, first of all, I'm not just a dentist. I'm a dentist. Discus Dental, we grew from its inception to over $1.3 billion in sales. That was a dental supply company. I'm also a TV host. I mean, I've got a lot of different things. When ABC put me on Extreme Makeover, I had never been on TV before. I knew the dental part, but when I watched the first few episodes and I realized that I really sucked on TV, I said, okay, this is too good an opportunity to blow. I took acting classes, hosting classes, improv classes, teleprompting classes. I wanted to be the best version of me I could be. There's two things that I want to instill in kids' heads when they go to leave. Number one, don't wait for opportunities in life, make them. You can wait until you're 100 years old and things won't happen. If I see another kid who tells me that they're waiting for the universe to do something, I just want to say, dude, the universe is busy right now. Have you seen Corona? Right? Number two, when you get an opportunity, you don't take it, you master it. And there's a big difference. Taking it is a waste. Mastering it, whole different deal, right? So look, every single person on ABC's show, Extreme Makeover, got paid. The hairstylists, the weight trainers, the nutritionists, the plastic, everybody. I was the only one that didn't get paid. Why? Because when I first started, they just had me do Zoom whitening. I did 3 patients. They were happy. Then we get picked up for our first season. First patient, first season, she needed 30 veneers, right? 20 veneers, 10 uppers, 10 lowers. I was charging $1,500 at the time. So that would have been $30,000. So I sent an invoice to ABC and they literally croaked. And they said, what? We didn't realize dentistry was that expensive. I said, well, it is. I said, what do you want me to do? They said, can you do 3 veneers? I'm like, what, like every other tooth? Like, no, she needs 20. The uppers, what do they say? The carpet needs to match the drapes. I mean, come on. And they were like speechless. And I made a decision right there, and I call these life-defining moments. Sometimes you plan them, sometimes you don't. And I didn't plan this, I just did it. But it was one of the smartest business things I ever did. I said, listen, I'll do all the dentistry for free. Don't pay me a penny, but you need to agree to the following. Number one, I'm the only dentist. Number two, you need to highlight Zoom in every episode. And number three, you need to mention Da Vinci veneers, because I don't want to have a $10,000 lab bill and I'm not getting paid. They said, fine. Now today, that would never happen in reality TV. But we were the birth of reality TV. And you know, they were so happy to get it for free. They're like, fine. You know, who knew? The net result that year, our sales, we had started the company years ago, had plateaued at about 76 million in sales. That first year on Extreme Makeover, 101 million. Second year, 130 million. Third year, almost $200 million in sales. So ABC didn't pay me, but you know what? It's all right.
But that's a smart move. And is this something like, you know, when people come across opportunities like that, oftentimes they see them more as problems and not as opportunities. You know, they come across these roadblocks and don't realize that this is, you know, that door closed, but look at, if you just looked at it from this angle, you can definitely take it in a different direction. You know, how are you helping young people to see these opportunities when they're presented? I mean, you saw it, you were like, okay, look, I'm not going to take this paycheck, but you could clearly see that there's a huge advantage of being on TV and
Right.
placement, that sort of stuff.
You know, I mean, look, I took a leap of faith. The program is called Leap, you know, and one of the things that we do is we bring young people in and we let them meet mentors who can show them different paths that they took to their success. And hopefully that will be something that will inspire them or guide them, you know, or help them, you know, realize their dreams.
What kind of dreams do you have now? Like you've come across to me as someone who has worked their butt off to achieve massive levels of success through the hard work and dedication to your craft and building your business. When somebody reaches a pinnacle of success, what happens beyond that? What do you see going forward?
2 words: give back. That's what it's about. Listen, I grew up poor. I had nothing. You know, nobody gave me anything in my life. I started working at the age of 5 and never stopped. You know, I pulled weeds, you know, and then, you know, when I was old enough, I got to work in a grocery store. And then from there, I worked as an escort, driving people on our campus at UCLA. I was a university driver. You know, I mean, I never stopped working my whole life. And, you know, I always knew as a dentist, I would be comfortable and, you know, and I'd be able to provide a good, you know, living for my family and my kids and my wife and everything. But I never imagined it could be as good as it was with the whole advent of Discus and everything. And one of the things that I really am proud of is that my partner who, you know, built my business with me came from a very, very wealthy family, and they were incredibly philanthropic, and he taught me, you know, and from the minute we started making money, we gave back and we gave back and we gave back. And I'm at a point in my life where that's my favorite thing to do. You know, I do Leap. Leap is a nonprofit. I put my heart and soul into this to give back and teach kids how to be successful. 60% of the kids that come to our program come from really, really poor families. And we would go out and we raise money so they can come and spend a week at UCLA and learn from, you know, the best. And listen, I've had Mark Wahlberg, Anthony Hopkins, Eva Longoria, Usher, Kathy Bates, Dennis Quaid. I mean, these people all come and they speak for free. There's no other program in the world where kids are going to meet these people up front, because they, like me, believe that our future is in our youth, and you need to foster their growth. And it's a beautiful thing. Unfortunately, with COVID this year, we're not going to have the live program, but we will have a virtual program. So anybody who's listening that has, students 15 to 25 that want to participate, you can sign up. It's going to be July 20th to the 25th. We will have an amazing virtual experience. I have Paula Abdul. I have Dennis Quaid. I have tons of people. Maybe Mark Wahlberg will come back again. I have a very famous couple from the UK that everybody in the world knows that are going to participate. So it should be an amazing, amazing experience. And it's not expensive. It's $449 for the week. And the part of it that's so cool is this. I have 3 daughters. If I tell my daughters to do something, they probably won't do it. Now, if you're an expert in a field and you tell them, they might do it. But if 10 of their girlfriends tell them to do it, guess what? They do it. And the power of LEAP is that we will put your students in a group with other people their age. And after that week is done, we're not done. Every group will have a coach, and these coaches are trained by us. And these are people that are over 18 years old. They've gone through the program, and they don't just talk, they actually walk the walk. And these are people that will check in with your students on a monthly basis and just make sure that they're doing the things that they said that they would do. We have all the kids write down their goals, and we check in on them, and we make sure that they're actually going there and doing it. And it builds a really great support group for these students.
That's amazing. I mean, it really does parallel what you were talking about early on in your practice, where, it's let me give you the heads up at the beginning. Let me show you what great experience you're going to have. But then the follow up at the end in continuing that relationship going forward. I think that's really what sets many entrepreneurs apart, the successful and the not successful, is that continuing relationship after the fact, giving those kids that support to not only experience it up front, but to maintain that goal and stay top of mind, so that they always have that, I did want to achieve this goal. I did want to go this way. I did want to go there. What am I doing every single day to achieve that goal? What steps am I taking?
It makes you a lot more accountable,
100%.
When you've got a group of people rooting for you, it's like, you don't want to let them down either. Mm-hmm. Right?
Well, let me ask you a little bit of a selfish question. You've been on TV, you've done interviews, you've been interviewed a number of times. What kind of advice would you give a podcast host to better interact with their guests, give them a better experience, do what they do on the Hollywood stage?
2 things. Number 1, I would listen to a lot of the top-rated podcasts and see what those announcers are doing, right? Copy genius. Number 2, you can hire somebody to critique you. I have my own podcast. My podcast exploded. We're in the top 150 countries worldwide. I think right now I'm number 1 in Poland. I'm number 2 in Iceland or Finland. It's crazy. And in the US, we're in the top 90 of a category with 47,000.
Nice.
How did that happen? I hired somebody who was really good at marketing, and the first thing he did is he posted Mark Wahlberg, Anthony Hopkins, Eva Longoria. Like when you have big names like that, you get big numbers, right?
Absolutely.
And in addition to that, I have a whole team of guys who listen to my podcast and advise me and say, hey, Dr. Bill, you could do this and you could do that. So I would say, if that's something you're interested in doing, A, listen to top-rated podcasts. B, have somebody who you respect that lives in that world just critique you and give you tips.
Great advice. Great advice. Coaching, mentorship, regardless of what industry you're in or what sport you're in, it never goes away. Even the top producing top producing agents or the top performing athletes, they all seem to have some sort of coach and mentor guiding them. What does an elite individual still need a coach for? What are you trying to perfect, or what skill are you trying to get better at in your area of business where you still are requiring coaching aside from the podcasting?
You know, I think the word coaching for me isn't as applicable as just CE, continuing education. I take a lot of courses, you know, I mean, I'm always learning, you know, new and better and different techniques. You know, how many, you know, retirement tours has Celine Dion done? Like every year she retires, you know, and then I'm like, I thought she retired and she's back. You know what I mean? But it's like she just keeps reinventing herself. I don't think she'll ever retire, you know? And I think if you want to stay relevant and you want to be successful, that's an important component. You can't rest on your laurels. You can get to a certain point, but if you want to stay up there or go higher, you need to continue to grow and get better. So call it coaching, call it continuing ed, you know, but those are really important things to maintain, you know, your success.
Sharpen the knife, right? Just keep sharpening that knife, keep tooling, keep getting ready to go. Well, I want to thank you for your time coming on the show. I know, I think one of the best pieces of advice I can give myself for today is get a Zoom link that works right off the bat. And we can get going with Dr. Bill a little sooner. No, but honestly, thank you very much for being on the show. Really learned a lot from you, honestly. Like it's been a pleasure getting to know you. Can you tell me a little bit before you go again about the LEAP Foundation and how people can get information on that?
Yeah, if people want info, just go to www.leap foundation, foundation.com. If you'd like, I post a lot of stuff on Instagram about smile makeovers, fitness. I'm a big fitness buff, and also LEAP. And so you can follow me at Dr. Bill Dorfman, DRBILL Dorfman, on Instagram. And I'm probably one of the only people who has almost 1 million followers that actually answers their own DMs. So, you know, people talk to me all the time. I promise I answer everybody. So if you have any questions or whatever, that's a really great way to get a hold of me.
Amazing. I'm looking forward to actually learning more from you. So definitely going to be following you. That's at Dr. Bill Dorfman on Instagram, correct?
Correct.
Awesome.
With that little blue star.
Nice.
So you do that one.
Verified.
There's a few fake ones that aren't really me.
Well, again, thank you for your time. Appreciate it. Ladies and gents, make sure you follow, check out LEAP Foundation. It's anytime you can help a young person open their door or open their eyes to what's possible, what's on the other side of that doorway. I always say I teach, by the way, Dr. Dorfman, I teach a course called Financial Algebra to 17-year-old high school seniors. And it's one of those things where I tell people, I'm like, look, I don't know if I'm going to change the world myself, but I hope that I influence the mind of someone who will. And that's what I think the LEAP Foundation is doing. It's opening doorways. You never know what kind of people are there, what they're going to do with their lives. And thank you for providing that opportunity.
Ladies and gents. And send your 17-year-olds to my program. They're right in our sweetest spot.
I definitely will.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's all we got for you guys today. Peace.
Bye-bye.
And we're out.